What is going on, everybody? Great morning. Great morning. What a beautiful day to be together here with you all. Monday morning over here. Thank God we are alive. What an opportunity. What a blessing. What a gift What a beautiful morning here on Bitcoin and in the markets. We're going to have a fun day. We're going to have a very important work day as well. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot to go over to get our bearings. If you're just joining us now, welcome. I'm glad that you are here. For whatever reason, the Google algorithm has brought you into the most wonderful place on the internet. Watch and see what happens today as we get going. Heath is exactly right. Beautiful setting up today's live stream show for everyone to go over. There's a lot to cover. I was doing it all last night as well. I have to be honest, and I have to share what's going on over here right now. And it's nice to see Bitcoin making new all-time highs over here. It's nice that Elon has gone ahead and done it and pulled the plug over here. I was setting this up before I set that up over there. I want to build into what I'm talking about. Elon sent his director of treasury to Michael Saylor's Bitcoin conference. Michael Saylor, the Chad of all Chads, no question about it. And I was setting that up, and then I woke up this morning. I see that Bitcoin's trading at new all-time highs, up about 10%, exploding. Had no idea yet that Tesla had gone ahead and purchased $1.5 billion of Bitcoin. Beautiful to see. Beautiful to see over here this morning, right? And it's exciting, but it's not so exciting. There's no FOMO right now. I mean, FOMO and excitement-wise. Bitcoin's trading at $43,000 right on time, right where we expected, right? We knew that. We didn't know. We knew everything that was happening here. By the way, this was masterfully played over here, this last 30% pullback over here. Everyone here over and in step with each little pulse over here. Either which way, $43,000 is nice, but it's what expected. $100,000 is going to be nice, but I'm probably not going to be too elated. 140,000, mission accomplished. A little nicer. Maybe we celebrate a little. Maybe we all share a little bit of tequila or mezcal that day. The top of the bull market getting out. That's going to be business as usual as well. When we exit this trade, that's going to be business as usual as well. If you ever seen Jobs, Ashton Kutcher playing Steve Jobs, the day that they go public, right? All of a sudden, the whole office, they're all millionaires. Steve, forget about it. He walks into the office. He walks through everyone popping champagne. He walks through them with his head down. He gets into the office, and he gets to work. That's what we do. That's why we stay sharp. All right, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to have fun with today. I'm excited, but this is more important to me. This is what I'm more excited about. Let me show you than this. Let me go head over here. This is what, by the way, this is what started it off. This is December 20th. Michael Saylor, one rocket scientist to another. Listen, you should put Bitcoin on Tesla's balance sheet. Do your shareholders a favor. Elon's like, what? Is that even possible? Yep. I just purchased $1.3 billion. I'll be happy to share my playbook with you offline. Do you remember that day I told you Elon flew out to Hawaii to speak with Larry Ellison? CEO of Oracle also sits on the board of Tesla. There were whispers that Oracle's going to do it. Is Oracle going to announce? Is Salesforce going to announce? I'm a little bit more excited about this than I am about Tesla, because Tesla's the FOMO for corporations, right? What was MicroStrategy? MicroStrategy is boom. We just built out the new playbook, right? We're the leader. Tesla? Ooh, Tesla's a pretty big fish in the ocean. Tesla put Bitcoin on their balance sheet? Who's next? Is it going to be someone like Salesforce? Is it going to be someone like Apple? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Bitcoin didn't need Elon. Elon needed Bitcoin. There's going to be others. We'll find out who they are. That's exciting. That's exciting to me over here. Let's get into the markets before we start looking. And there's a lot to talk about, including one of my favorites, Stanley Druckenmiller. We're going to talk about a lot today, but we got a lot to cover. If you are just joining us or you're here right now, come on and smash that like button. Let's help support the channel. Let's get this going over here. Let's get me in the flow. Let's find out what's going on over here. Let's check in on Ethereum this morning before we even look at Bitcoin. Ethereum here, price discovery, new all-time highs. Breaking out, by the way. Breaking out, retest, resuming off right now. 1,700, looking good. What else is there to say over here? Let's check out on the equity markets. By the way, we got the S&P 500 this morning printing new all-time highs, coming into this bit of resistance on the top. Okay, that's good to know. We'll keep tracking that. This is an area of resistance. If we get a melt up, right? If we get one of these patterns that occur right over here or right over here, and you can see that trend line right over there, and you can see that trend line when it goes boop, boop, that's when I'll be like, all right, now equities are risky again. Now we're looking for that correction, and that's a correction we'll probably want to lean into and buy. But right now, equities remain what? Unattractive. I've done a fantastic job of outlining recently why they're so unattractive. I think everyone's on board. I think everyone understands, right? What should we go buy, right? Right? Commodities. Wow. Wow. What are we up for in the last 2 months? Wow. That's about a 15-20% gain. Wow. All right. Anyway, let's go. Let's look at gold and silver this morning. Dollar's doing nothing. Dollar, by the way, what has the dollar done? Let me come back down to the 8-hour, right? Let me come over here. The dollar, after being rejected by our channel resistance, if you're not up to date with this, you will be soon. I'm not going to get into it too much more than needs be right now. We do a lot of work here across all the markets, not just Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the most important trade that matters. I hope you're involved, but I need to focus on all the markets to stay sharp. It's what I do, and it's how I do it. Some people are like, hey, could you get to the point much quicker? You got to be kidding me, right? You're going to tell me how to paint my picture. Come on. So anyway, DXY over here, rejected by the resistance of the channel, down over here into support right now. We were looking for this in no man's land right now. And as long as this is highlighted so much big as resistance, down over here is support. Because while we're in between the two, it's no man's land. That's where we are right now. What's gold doing this morning, right? We had that little, beautiful little circle over there well before we dumped down into it. Over here, it looked like we were breaking out to the upside. We didn't. The resistance held. I adjusted that slightly, that trend line. It was up just slightly, but adjusted it. Came back in. That was the place to pick up if you were interested in gold. I've also done my best to help you understand perhaps why at this particular point in time, with these particular easing conditions, by the Fed and by the central banks, that maybe gold is not the best place for you. Am I bullish on gold? Extremely. I'm more bullish on silver. I'm more bullish on Bitcoin. I try to, listen, I do my own analysis. I share it with you. You got to learn to pick up on signal. You got to learn to pick up on signal over there. But nevertheless, there you see the bounce over there coming back up towards that resistance. We'll keep tracking it. Everyone abandoned silver. Right? Oh, Wall Street Bets is not involved. I'm getting out. And I told you, that's a breakout. We're coming in for the retest right now. Super bullish if we hold 26. I put out an extra video lining up the trade. Entry right over there. Here we come back into the resistance right now. Do not follow the herd. You have to stop following the herd. You're going to get punished. Right? You have to learn how to think for yourself. That's what we do here. I teach people how to think for themselves. By the way, let me jump over here. There was one brilliant comment that I do need to share over here. So let me jump over to it. It was over here. Jordan, I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've watched your live streams religiously for almost a year now. A year. You don't tell me how to think, what to think, but how to think. Yeah, that's where school goes wrong. They don't tell anyone how to think. They tell you how to regurgitate facts, right? Here, I'm teaching you how to think for yourself, how to see the markets, how to make decisions. I was never very successful in the markets before, but now I do my own research, come to my own conclusions, and make decisions that I could be completely comfortable with. Happy to say that I'm up 7 figures already. You've changed my life for the better. Keep doing what you're doing. You make a difference. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, also very important over here, Silvergate. It was brought to my attention over there because I was confused what's going on here with Silvergate. I looked into the business. I couldn't find out what was going on. You know, silver in Silvergate threw me off. I have it right under silver over here. This is the bank that actually, let me go ahead and read the comment. And many of you helped me out on this. I thank each and every one of you. Thank you, each and every one, Eugene and many people. Silvergate is the bank that backs BlockFi and allows banking with other crypto companies as well. I think Kraken was mentioned to me. There's a video over there about Silvergate with their CEO speaking of interested. Thank you, and thank you all very much. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And by the way, the PE over here, I checked that out last week, is not so high in comparison to something like Square, right? So anyway, there we go, right? If you can make six figures in a year, you were doing all right. Listen, I don't want to get into it right now, but that's not necessarily true. That's not. You could have taken a half a Bitcoin, lightly leveraged last year, following me, and turned it into seven figures already. So either which way, there's always one in the bunch, right? There's always so you got to learn to pay attention to signal versus noise. Oh, this guy's up seven figures. I'm gonna get all salty because I'm not. Are you kidding? No, what he said was, I've been listening to you for a year regularly, religiously, every day, your live streams. You taught me how to think for myself. You taught me how to make the correct decisions for myself. Not what do I buy, but figuring out how to do it myself and understand what I'm doing. There's a difference there. Some people get it, some people don't. By the way, I will not only be here right through the peak of the bull market over here as we exit, as we ride out the bear, as we figure out what we're investing into and why, because it's the best thing at this particular moment for us to be in. Accumulating again, doing this all again. I'm going to be here. This is what I do. It's what keeps me sharp. I love being here with all of you. Many are invited. Few are going to be with us, right? Few are going to be with us. Let's see what you could do. Anyway, so here we go over here. Let's keep going over here. I want to talk about a bunch of things going on in the market, right? I'm just looking over here at my watch list. I see Ethereum, Bitcoin. Obviously, Ethereum's outperforming today. I didn't know, and I was very clear about that as Bitcoin in the last video produced yesterday, as Bitcoin goes to make its all-time highs, and I didn't know it would be overnight. I did say in the Ethereum video yesterday, I do think that the CME launch of the Ethereum futures is going to send Ethereum and Bitcoin to new all-time highs. I guess it was the Tesla news, or was it? I don't know. Either way, it's all happening. You could paint the narrative afterwards. I'm not discounting what Tesla did here was big. It's enormous. But that was just another piece of the puzzle. We already planned it. It's happening. What happens next? Salesforce, Oracle, whoever it is, that's almost bigger to me. We'll see when it happens. What else? I lost my train of thought, so I'm going to keep going over here. I thought that, though, watch out. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to lead, or I don't know if Ethereum is going to be in lockstep, and I don't know whether or not we're going to see Bitcoin make some gains versus altcoins. It's happening. Bitcoin is making gains right now versus altcoins. Is this a place right now, or is it too soon to be digging into these pullback against altcoins versus Bitcoin, or do you wait for the breakout? Look over here on Chainlink Bitcoin. I'll look at the rest in 1 second. Here's that trend line. Once it resumes back above, that's when you have momentum with you. That's when we're breaking out to the new leg higher. Let's look at DOT Bitcoin, just back into some support, looking super good over here. By the way, DOT was called out over here in the Discord CTM group by Alan. I mean, when did he do that? That must have been in December, before we broke this trend line over there. Alan, if you're listening, thank you for all of the hard work you do each and every day. You are an enormous gen. What a pleasure to be working alongside you, really. What else we got going on over here? Ethereum, Bitcoin, right? You see Ethereum pulled back. Ethereum, Bitcoin pulled back over here into an area of support. If it holds that line, well, it's not just a straight line over here. It's this whole area, closing back above there. I don't know. Bitcoin's running right now. Let's watch Bitcoin run. I think it's too soon. Right? So maybe, man, this is a great question, so I'm going to pause here really quick. Listen, in the coming months, other big corporations are going to get into Bitcoin. That will surely impact the 4-year cycle a bit, right? I don't think so. I do not think so. You have a lot of people out there, right? Listen, I showed in this video, by the way. I showed in this video over the weekend, Bitcoin masterfully, right? Listen, there are a lot of people talking. You have to pay attention, whoever has a history of being right. Do you understand how accurate we have been? It's something special. It's worth taking 5 minutes. How long is this video? 25 minutes. It's worth taking 25 minutes to go over what is being done over here and how extraordinary it is. People back in the last cycle were like, how could Bitcoin ever get to $100,000? And I explained, well, institutions would be be coming in. Here's what's going to happen. That's how you get. And now it's happening, and people are like, well, Bitcoin's going to stay there. It's not coming. No, no, that's not how it works, right? We're not entering a super cycle because some corporations put some Bitcoin back on their balance sheets. It's the same thing relative when Bitcoin's trading at $8,000 and some wealthy individual putting, a decent amount of Bitcoin into their own wallet. It's just, anyway, I'm a big believer in the 4-year cycle. I'm going to be selling the top. A lot of people are going to be really mad at me. I really don't care. I have no effect on the price of Bitcoin, by the way. And if I sell anywhere near the top and then shortly thereafter Bitcoin comes off 50%, it had nothing to do with it. Just forewarned. Just letting you all know right now. All right. So where does that bring us, and where's the focus of today? Before we get into some charts, and I want to look around, what's FX doing? I see everything unchanged. Look at this. Look over. This is actually going to be our FX review right now. Look at all of these pairs, and everything is almost unchanged. Okay, what does that mean to me? Well, that means that this consolidation that we've been in is continuing. I don't really want to get involved here right now today, right? There's nothing that I want to look at. Maybe tomorrow, which is actually the day that I really like to do my work in FX after the weekend on a Tuesday morning. That's, there's not much going on today. There is a lot of other stuff that we need to talk about. We're going to do that. Do I think that Bitcoin will drop below $100,000 during the bear market? That's a great question. I don't know, but what I do know is that towards the end of March, beginning of April, whatever Bitcoin is trading in around that point, which I gather is going to be around $70,000, I don't think Bitcoin in the bear market trades below that. The reason I could do that is I could go to the first cycle, to the second cycle. I could look at where the price was 15 months to the next halving, right? That's the low of the bear market, and then I could just bounce over to where we were, and that's about 15 months since the first halving. That's where I think we're going to be. I'll do it with you as we get there, but I think it'll be trading under $100,000. I think it'll be trading well under $100,000. Jordan, I've played around in Wall Street bets for years, losing money. Last year, I started following you and actually started making money. Yesterday, I was able to go back to Wall Street bets with the knowledge I now have and give advice because of everything you taught me. Thanks for being a great mentor. This is my signal over here. I shared this with you recently over the weekend in the Ethereum video, the mind-boggling liquidity nobody's paying attention to. We have been paying attention to the Fed back in late November, early November, the U.S. Treasury holding on to $1.7, $1.8 trillion, talking about when it's going to be deployed. Morgan Stanley says between now and June, they're going to be the Treasury is going to be deploying that money, massive amount of stimulus. That on top of the Federal Reserve's regular monthly QE purchases, that on top of the 1.9 COVID stimulus bill that was just passed. This is a massive amount. Now, some people told me, Jordan, Stephen Van something, with the guy with the hat, said, no, that you have to understand how that liquidity is actually being deployed into the market, and went on to, make something sounded really complicated to try to reason to it. I could care less. The guy's been on the wrong side of the trade ever since the Fed acted in March, and I said, here's what's going to happen. I've been on the right side of the trade. I'm not going to listen to someone now for a year who's been fighting their own narrative on the wrong side of the trade, hoping that one day they're right. All right? I'm not going to do that ever. So where are we, though? Dogecoin, by the way. Jordan, I see it all over the place. The memes are killing me, and there's some massively good Dogecoin memes I saw last night. More than the Super Bowl. I think what was happening over here was definitely very interesting. Hedge funds are what do I do? Listen, I'm focused on the only trade that matters, Bitcoin. Doge is flying now. We will see. I pay it no mind and give it no time. I'm listening to your most recent video. I'm reminded to focus on signal and ignore noise. Appreciate the feedback, Jordan. Bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Big, important announcement over here. Stefano, Pure Vita, Cameron Tribe, every single one of George. George. Thank you, everyone, for helping moderate this community, for helping the spammers fight spammers. Speaking of which, they've been ruthless in the comments across the weekend over here. If I'm talking to you, if I'm commenting, you can see that Conquer Trading and Investing is highlighted in gray. If it's not, it's a scammer and it's a spammer. Everyone keep safe. Please report them when you see them. It makes a huge difference. We have to be careful. We have to protect each other. I will never give you a WhatsApp number or even solicit you for investment. If I want to talk to you, I'm going to do it over the live stream. Over the weekend, by the way, we had Santiago, another one, right? Another one. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong, right? I told you were wrong a year ago. I was wrong, but now I think that everyone in the reflation trade is wrong, and we're gonna say, are you kidding me? Selling Bitcoin at $27,000. He said, no, I sold more at $38,000. I can't imagine selling Bitcoin lower than the low of the coming bear market cycle. Jordan, what's your new sell goal for Bitcoin if $140,000 was wrong? We're still soon to determine this. No, $160,000 is where I placed Bitcoin in the bull market. $140,000 was the target to meet, achieve all of my goals. Everything that I worked at in advance is met as Bitcoin hits 140,000. Am I going to celebrate there? No, I'm going to ride this thing out to the top. I said I was wrong. I said that multiple times back in early December, that I was wrong, that I was using diminishing returns. That's not happening. I've pointed out clearly why that's not happening. Very early, not waiting, very early. I don't want to be right. I want to be on the right side of the trade, and that's all I do over there. Look, if we go higher, that's just, look, I have it over here. That's just all the whipped cream with hot fudge on top of ice cream and caramel. We get it all, and we're going for it all. Anyway, that was wrong, and I hope everyone understands that I recalibrated months ago. Listen, so where's the top? I don't know. This is why I do every day what I do with you. This is why I do every day with you what I do, so that I stay in that flow of Bitcoin. That's why I put out a 25-minute video on what we've accomplished and what we're doing over here. Anything that I could do to keep me focused on what's the most important thing for me to be focused and in tune with, I'm going to do. Right? Thank you, each and every one of you who support that. Thank you, each and everyone who liked and shared that video. Thank you for commenting. It is very important to me, and I feel if something's important to me, that I should be able to share it with all of you. All right, what else are we looking at? What else are we looking at over there? Alan, thank you, brother. Jordan makes things clear and simple to understand, from macro to technical analysis. Follow Bitcoin to know what will happen to alts, a great rule of thumb. Here we go. People are looking for this chart. Listen, people are looking. Next time it comes up in my Twitter feed, I don't know who shares it. It's something with stock to flow. I don't know who shared. Next time it comes up, I will share that Twitter handle with each and every one of you so that you could follow it yourself every time they update. Okay? For sure. What else are we looking at? This is the wildest market I've ever seen. Stanley Druckenmiller with a Goldman interview. Stanley Druckenmiller, by the way, Stanley Druckenmiller is a legend. Over 30 years, 30% return or more, managing an enormous amount of money. He was the one who came up with the trade to take down the Bank of England. Soros was the one who told him, you're not pushing it hard enough. He was working for George Soros at the time. Now, let's take a look at a couple of things that he said over here, which are much more important than us looking at the markets right now today, right, and what's going on, because we're just cruising today, rightfully so. Everyone knows what's going on. Thank you, Alan, right? All right, so let's take a look at some things that are important to me, and if they're important to me, I feel like I should share them with you. Yeah, so in Stanley's Stanley Legend Druckenmiller, right? He's talking about the 3 points that he's looking at. Look, the overriding theme in the market is inflation relative to what policymakers think, right? That's not what Stephen Van Burger King says. He says the opposite. Oh, well, whatever. Druckenmiller is short long-end treasuries. What? He's short long-end treasuries? No. The QE is deflationary. How could he do that? He also has a large position in commodities. The longer the Fed tries to keep rates suppressed, the more I win on commodities. The quicker they respond, I might have a big problem with commodities. What else does he say? Take home number 2. He's very long. Man, I wonder who was on top of that. I wonder where I could have found out that we should have been long commodities. I wonder where we could have found out that what was going on was inflationary. I wonder, right? What else is going on? He's very, very short the dollar. Who else is short the dollar and why? Where could I have found out this information? What's going on? Listen, here's very important over there. Listen, what Stanley says is this is what he does. Number 1, if it can point you in the right direction, and if you believe something, you can make big, big gains. Over here, right? I'm going to jump over to here where Stanley says, I am very much in the philosophy to put all your eggs in one basket and watch it very carefully. Who else does that? Who else does that? Who else is focused, putting all their eggs in one basket and watching it very carefully? Huh. Number 2 is a macro investor. Currencies and bonds trade 24 hours a day and are very liquid. And you could change your mind, which I do a lot in my career because I've been wrong a lot. Who else does it? Who's wrong half the time doesn't even care. Who trades the currency markets because they're available 24 hours a day, the best markets a day? No, I don't trade bonds, but I sure do focus on currencies. Number 3, it also gives you a lot of discipline to not play around in an area that is dangerous. Equity-only investors, come on, who's been telling you how risky equities are and stay away from them? Anyway, that was fun. That's fun for me. I hope you get it. That all reinforces for me what I'm doing and what I do. There's nothing wrong with affirmation. It's very important. It's very, 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 very important. So that's what we spent. Listen, I follow and focus on what's being shown to me. That's what I'm learning from. That's what I'm learning from each and every day. And by the way, if you can't see that my whole intent is to continue to push myself, continue to work hard, continue to learn, right? Then you're missing the biggest signal of them all. That's what I'm doing as I read Stan, as I learn from Stan, right? That's what we do here together each and every day. And if anyone is wondering why I'm focused and have all my eggs in one basket, I don't know. Don't follow me then. Follow Stan. Here we go. This is boring. Milty, I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know that if you're talking to me because I'm not in context over here. I hope you're not. And if you are, well then, then I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to assume I took that out of context. And we'll keep going over here. There's also one other thing that Stanley said that's very important. I don't know. I took off the comments. I don't know where it was. And he was saying that, listen, there are a few good trades a year. Normally, you know what those few good trades. Sorry, brother. Winthrop. That's not. So there are a few. That's it. Well, that was the first and last and only warning. That's not cool. It's just, anyway. Some people are just unloved. It's true. Anyway, let's not do that. This is 2021. We need to focus on what's important. Look, Stanley said there are a few trades a year that are very clear. You need to focus on those and you need to go big. One of those trades that is very, very, very clear, right? What? Gold, Bitcoin. I've talked about why. I've talked about where. And then it was setting up over here when I brought it to your attention. Look at that. That's a 50% gain in just a week or two. Right? This thing is just getting started, by the way. As Bitcoin comes into $70,000, our next area of interest, $70,000, we'll go ahead and we'll check in on this. This is going to be massively lower, and that's going to set to continue throughout this bull market phase. But, gold will probably be one of the candidates that I position into at the top of the Bitcoin bull market. Gold will probably be one of the top candidates that I'm looking at heavily and position myself into. So what is happening right now for me, as we see the amount of Bitcoins and ounces drastically changing, that all is just setting up for me my exit. And I'm going to be happy to transfer. We'll see that. We'll talk about it then. This is great. Thank you for bringing a smile to my face. I hope I could. Yeah, well, we will be here for years to come. We will be for here. What's happening here is special. Thank you for all being a part of it. Thank you for making it what it is. And there's so much, so many, each and every one of you, right? I mean, Heath on Trade Talk, what goes on in CTM inside the Discord. Alan, we mentioned earlier. Brandon, Crypto Trades in Tech, and every single person I've already mentioned. The moderators going above and beyond, continuing to make this space special. There's Gene. There's so many people. It's ridiculous. That's why I read every morning. That's why I read everyone's comment in the morning. Everyone, people making this so special, and I'm aware of everyone every day, and everything you say is important to me. All right, so here we are. What are we looking at today? Right? Silver, man. Was I there to walk you through that pullback? Right? And I will always be there, focusing on what's important today. Focusing on what's important. Paxos Gold, listen, it's an option. It's really easy. It's a good question. Will Paxos Gold be one of the things that I transfer out of Bitcoin into? Because listen, don't hate me now, don't hate me later. Bitcoin's going to have a full-year cycle. That's the way I'm playing it, at least. I will hold on to a little bit. Some people think it's generous to say 5 to 7%. I agree, it's generous, but I'm going to make sure I'm covered. I'm going to have that little bit of insurance just in case. Is Paxo Gold a good option? It's really easy moving things that are digitally. It's a little more cumbersome dealing with physical gold in vaults across the sea. But nevertheless, it'll probably be physical gold. It'll probably be in vaults far, far away. Yeah, Pepe, thank you for being there with me. Everyone, thank you for going ahead. Wow, look at all. Giles. Everyone's so important, and I'm grateful for it. And each and every one of you. Right? Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you know what? This is just the beginning. It's not only about teaching and achieving the things that need to be achieved by a lot of people, right? First, making sure your house is in order. Then looking at the next generation of your family, making sure you are building and preparing the way for them, right? Then we have those around us in this world right now. There's a lot of people that are in need. There's a lot of people in need, and we're going to be there to help them. We're going to be there to help them. That's what we're doing and why. So, why 70,000? There's a video. That's just the next area of resistance we're looking at. There's a video on the channel. If you didn't watch the video released just yesterday on Bitcoin masterfully, lightly leveraged, watch that video. It'll explain to you why $70,000. And by the way, yeah, you have to put in a little bit of work. Do you see me putting in the work every day? All right, you have to follow the flow. You have to follow the live streams. You have to follow otherwise you're not going to get it, right? Everyone's just like, could you get to the point and tell me what to do? No, that's not the point. The point is teaching you how to do it. If you're not doing it yourself, there's no way you could do it. So there we are. Greetings from Argentina. I spent 8 months living in Argentina. Beautiful people, beautiful culture. What a beautiful experience. Yeah, let's look at, if you're interested in Cardano too, again, Brandon, Crypto Trades in Tech. Brandon has been one of the first to be watching Cardano over here. Cardano up first $1 today, right? Tracking towards what? Is it coming towards $1? Really follow Brandon's work on Crypto Trades in Tech. You could follow his channel off of my main YouTube channel, or you could you put it in YouTube. But looking beautiful, as are all altcoins. Everyone here in this community should have the most perfect knowledge of what all season is, why it occurs, when it occurs, and when it ends, and how to ride it out the best. Now, if you're going to get into more of the flow, right? Bitcoin pops, Ethereum has been in lockstep lately, right? Then you see things flowing down to what other coins. Then we see altcoins versus Bitcoin fly. And then if you want to get into that dance a little more, you got to follow what's going on the crypto channels in the Discord, right? Alan does a really good job from time to time. I'm giving you that roadmap, though. Yeah, he called it at 11 cents. Pure Vita. Brandon called Cardano, brought it to everyone's attention at 11 cents, up 6%, and not too long. Right? Halving tracker, here we go. So on Twitter, this is the Twitter handle to find these charts over here of the halving price over there. and let me come back to it really quick. Hold up with me. Oh, boom. It's at having tracker. At having tracker. All right, everyone. So please remind me again, Nikita. I'll try to keep that. I'll try to pull up that handle myself. I'll try to put it in the description because a lot of people are asking for it and want to see it. That's the follow over there. Thank you. Well, let's look at Tesla for fun. Tesla deserves our attention today, right? So Tesla consolidating here, new all-time highs around that resistance we had going back pre 5-to-1 stock split over there at $860. Listen, as Bitcoin here continues to fly, right? What is Tesla's stock price going to benefit off that drastically at this point? It happened to MicroStrategy. That's all I could say. It happened. Should you go out and buy Tesla now? Again, it's not about telling you what to invest in. It's about getting you to understand why. Let's take a look at New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Right? All right. So this is bullish, by the way, this descending wedge. Right? Then you see the breakout, the retest. That was your first entry right over there. Strong entry. And now it's consolidating. Getting back above this resistance for me, Thomas, that really is going to open up the... By the way, Thomas, you've been with here for us for over a year now. Right? Thank you so much for everything you add to the community. Really always special to see you and your name and what you're commenting. A break above here, above this resistance, does that open up the next resistance above on New Zealand dollar, US dollar? For me, it's more of a dollar story right now. I don't have a good read on the dollar, right? The dollar for me is ranging between this resistance and this support, right? And until we break back below this trend line, for me, it makes more sense to stay on the sidelines of the dollar. Breaking down over here and then going back to the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, that's going to say to me, if that happens, that the New Zealand dollar then could run up over here. So just that patience. Give it a little bit more time. You want to wait. Jim Rogers, this is what I do. I just wait till I see money on the other side of the room, and I go over there and I take it. But you have to have that patience. You have to set it up and to wait and to watch. And like a predator, watching the herd, seeing what animal is sick, who's a little separated from the herd, who's injured, and then stalking it closer, setting up the kill, waiting. All the time is spent waiting, and then the attack. That's how you got to do it also. Yeah, thank you. May God bless you too, always. Right? Yeah. No, listen, I don't think that anyone... So, this is a great question, actually. Yeah, don't worry about the grammar. That means don't worry about the pronunciation. Don't worry about focus on signal. But the popping signs, that can't take them. Then you're never going to make it. People don't understand. But there's a great question. And listen, are you going to convert some Bitcoin to stable coins and then later buy back and take loan against your Bitcoin, avoiding taxes? So listen, the whole point is not to avoid taxes. The whole point is to make money so you could pay taxes. A lot of people following, CTM here, they're like, they have money to report. That's a great thing. That's the goal, right? So the second thing though is, Michael Seiler in the MicroStrategy conference did point out that using things such as BlockFi, he didn't mention BlockFi, but he's meant holding on to your own Bitcoin and collateral and taking out loans. How does Elon get his money? Does Elon sell Tesla stock? No, Elon borrows against Tesla stock. He keeps his collateral, he takes out loans against it, and then he pays it back. It's a non-taxable event. Could you do it also on Bitcoin? There's a lot of things you need to be aware of, right? Again, before you do anything, you have to understand it. So you're not asking anyone, should you do it? But you know whether you should or you shouldn't. If you're taking out a loan against Bitcoin at the top of the bull market cycle, and by the way, if you convert Bitcoin to stablecoin, that's a taxable event. Anytime you convert fiat into Bitcoin, that's not taxable, and or crypto. Anytime you convert Bitcoin into another altcoin, that's a taxable event. Anytime you convert Bitcoin into a stablecoin, that's a taxable event. Right? But what happens if you, at the top of the bull market cycle, and I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not giving any tax advice at any time whatsoever. That's not what I do, ever, at all. Over here, Bitcoin, though, if it's trading at the top of the bull market cycle and you exit by taking out a loan, and let's say that loan, you're putting up 50% of your collateral, Bitcoin could come off 50% from its peak in a matter of days and or weeks. What about in the last cycle? How did that occur? How long did it take for Bitcoin to have a 50% correction in December of 2017? Let's check it out over here. Here's the high over there. It's December 16th, December 17th over there. And that was a 43% in less than a week, right? And it had a 50% drawdown in 2 weeks. So you're going to get a margin call on your collateral, right? Do you have the collateral to back it up? If you're taking out a loan, do you have other collateral set aside in case you get a margin call? But Jordan, the corporations are buying. We're not going to have a 50% drawdown this cycle. Oh yeah, probably not. Probably more closer to 80, 85%, right? So listen, be careful, understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. However, yeah, you could, it's not a taxable event to go ahead and borrow against your collateral and pay it back. That's not taxable. So 949 likes this morning. We've been online here for 45 minutes. So that's a lot of likes. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for being. Yeah, thank you so much, Edwin. Even Richard Dawkins, who coined the word, will tell you that. Well, then there you go. If Richard said it, then it has to be. If Richard, I don't believe in God, Dawkins, therefore, imagine, how smart could you claim to be if you don't even believe in God? So I laugh at Richard Dawkins, right? But either which way, yeah, right, thanks, it's meme. But everyone here in CTM, I think they kind of like meme. So, it's up to you. Do you really care how I say the word, right? Are you focused on noise or are you focused on signal? That's entirely up to you. I could really care less at the end of the day, but that's entirely up to you. 1,000 likes. Thank you for that. Thank you. So, what's going on? This is important. This is not happening right now. There's a lot of people who focus on black swan events and trade around that, right? But there could be an EMP attack, and Bitcoin could be, the internet could be knocked offline. There's a satellite up in space. Thank you, Blockstream. But listen, could the government start taxing unrealized gains? I think that's not happening anytime soon. Right now, we're looking at whether or not they're gonna put up capital gains to 40%. 2022 it looks like the Bitcoin bull cycle is gonna beat that. But that could happen in the future. They could start taxing unrealized gains. Yep, they might need to. MMT. But anyway, that's not happening right now. We don't need to have that conversation now. We'll talk about it when it's happening, right? So is Bitcoin going up or down? I could tell you with pretty amazing accuracy what happens next on Bitcoin. And that's what I do each and every day. There's a video, if you haven't watched it, Khalid, that was put out yesterday on Bitcoin Master Fleet. Watch that video. Invest 25 minutes into yourself, and then say, hey, wait a second. Maybe this is a signal I should be paying attention to. And consulting, right? But it doesn't work that's an ongoing process. It happens each and every day, and if you want to stay in the flow, you got to find the flow. It's not what happened. I have no idea. Bitcoin's trading at 43,500. I have no idea what happens next, right? But coming into that $40,000 area, I had a pretty good idea that Bitcoin was getting ready to pull back. Now, I didn't say it was going to pull back because I never know, right? And it could have went vertical from there. It could have went close to that $70,000 there. And if that happened, we had a bigger pullback. But as we pull back 30%, anyway, you got to follow. That's it. So crude oil, by the way, is that one of those interesting things that we want to be involved with coming in towards the top of that 59 resistance over that $59 resistance over there? Look, I could say that in 2020 we crushed crude. Over here, crushed it by saying get on the sidelines and stay away from it as it went sideways. A few trades over there. Once we broke out of the channel, targeting up here, but now we're hitting our target. Is crude a commodity going to trade higher than it is right now? Probably, right? Commodities are trading higher. Look at all the massive amount of stimulus, that money sloshing around. It's got to go somewhere. Is crude the trade that I want to put all my capital into? And why? That's the questions we ask out. God is great. God is good. Absolutely. Thanks for being here, everyone. Definitely grateful for it. Yeah. So what else are we looking at, by the way? Thank you. For those who own GBTC and RA, it is up 15% today. However, Dr. Che, look, Tom. So when my investment in GBTC and mine, some people trade it because they believe, well, if it's in a Roth IRA, I'm not paying taxes on that. I could be a little bit more active on it, and that's all well and good. But for me, Jordan, I understand during this Bitcoin bull market, I want to make sure I'm invested, right? So what I mean by that is when I exit Bitcoin, that's when I'll exit my GBTC. So I don't track. I personally, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I don't look at a chart of GBTC because it's tracking the underlying, it's tracking Bitcoin, right? And I'm tracking the wave. I'm tracking over here at the 4-year cycle. By the way, do you remember I've been pretty vocal about where we are? About 270 days after the halving in the first cycle, and in the second cycle, this next time period over here is when we start rising, going up, which is why I said last week, within 2 months, I always say things that I believe will be achieved when I'm saying them out on YouTube to everyone, that we should be tracking $70,000, and then you can see it over here at this particular point in time, what we're tracking right now. And then, yeah, is that going to be around $70,000 where we have that next bit of pullback? Probably. If you don't understand why, watch the video on Saturday. Watch the video on the channel on Bitcoin log scale on the Bitcoin playlist. And over there, this is Will's trend lines off of clone trend lines, CTM, conquering the markets all day long off the log scale. Jordan, you can't put trend lines on the log scale. Okay. And over here, he nailed the top over there. He nailed the exact top, $42,000. If you look up at our next resistance over there, it's coming around by the time we get there, right around 70,000. I also took, by the way, I just took when we were down over here, the low. Do you remember that I put out that tweet? Bitcoin's trading. If you missed Bitcoin under 20,000, because I was telling you over here, I'm fully invested in more. If you missed it, and then you saw Bitcoin go to 40,000, here's your chance to get it under 30,000. Jordan, that's irresponsible. Well, people are funny, but that's what happens. So where did that take us and why? I don't know, but here we are. Back to here. Oh, I took 150% off of this $29,000 low. It puts me right around 70,000. Over here, I have Will's trend line, log scale chart, 70,000. That's the next bit of area we will be tracking when we get there and watching what happens. 1,100 likes. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. You know, it's Monday. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day, and I'm grateful. Before I went online this morning, not online, but before I went live with all of you, I was just thinking to myself, how blessed am I that I get to now go ahead and take a look at the markets. By the way, I've been doing this for over 20 years with coffee in my hand by myself for the majority of the time to be able to share what we have here with all of you. That's what bought. It wasn't Bitcoin jumping because Elon. It was inevitable. Wow. How good did we do putting together those pieces with Elon and Tesla, right? Right? But the guy with the hat says... The guy who has to talk for so long to get anything across, and it's all really confusing, but he sounds smart, so whatever, right? I was in a good mood because I was so excited to be able to get online and share with all of you today, right? Where's the video? You could just go to the Bitcoin playlist and then look for log scale in the title. The Bitcoin playlist on this channel is an amazing resource, right? You change the pronunciation every time. Yeah. You know, I was studying in the seminary, by the way, for the Catholic priesthood before I met my wife. My heart's greatest desire, deepest desire was always marriage and family. And finally, I felt like God was calling me, and I answered the call. You know, always, whatever you are asking of me, Lord, I will give you. So I entered the seminary. So happy. So happy, but I was worried about, you know, when I would have to read for the Old Testament especially. I'm not familiar with those words and I can't sound them out. It was this big fear. Either which way, God is good. God definitely gave me my heart's deepest desire, and I'm grateful. So yeah, we spoke about Dogecoin earlier in this video. Go back and watch that. Very important. I haven't had matcha in a few weeks now. I need to get some new matcha. I definitely do. It's been a few weeks. Tom Brady, by the way, Listen, I don't care if you look. I'm a New York Giant fan, born and raised, New Yorker, right? So you can imagine how I feel about the Patriots. You can imagine how I feel about Brady. But could you imagine what Brady has done? Wow, 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 wow. $730 million in Bitcoin future shorts liquidated. Boom, 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 boom. Elon once again punishing the shorts. Elon, did you see Tesla selling shorts on their website? The troll of all trolls, Elon's. Look, now you got me all self conscious. I can't even say meme or meme because you guys have me like, oh, I'm gonna get upset. Elon, the king of all memes. What else are we looking at today, everyone? It is fun to be with all of you. It is fun to be with all of you, right? Romans 28, one of the most important scriptures. All things work towards good to those who love God, to those called according to his purpose. Thank you, Model 3 Life. So important, and I believe, anyway, the work we're doing here, we'll see. We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do, but today's a day where we kind of get to enjoy. We have a lot of work ahead of us. A lot of lives that need to be changed. Yeah, we are changing the world. We are starting with ourselves. We're going to do great things together. By the way, Theta up another 15% today, right? Remember we called that out last week over here. It was up 15%, 30% last week, another 15%. I don't know anything about the project. I was very clear about that with all of you. I'm just following the price. I'm following the flow of Bitcoin being the rising tide that lifts all boats. At this particular time, we're watching the projects that are the leaders. We're watching the DeFi closely. That's signal. What's happening in decentralized finance is signal. By the way, the most decentralized of them all is Bitcoin. And anything that could be built elsewhere could be built on top of Bitcoin. But there's an enormous amount of network effects that are taking place being built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. Enormous amount of network effects. Decentralized finance is still in its infancy. It's going to be enormous. Why? Because the other game, it's rigged. We all know it's rigged. GameStop. Just another shot fired. A little bit of blood was drawn. Right? That was nothing. The battle is Bitcoin. Right? Is Ethereum playing a role in that? Of course it is. We root for Ethereum. We root for all cryptocurrency. Gemma. I have over here next to me my Gemma, my Saint Gemma. Thank you, Gemma. When I mean that, I mean Saint Gemma Gogani. I do love all the saints. It's the most fascinating thing for me to read is the writing of the saints. It's the most important thing I've ever, aside from the living word of God, of course. But listen, Saint Gemma Gogani, Gemma, she's because she loved Jesus the most, in my opinion. So what else are we looking at? This is a great, right? So, all right. So what would you tell someone just investing in Bitcoin for the first time today? All right. Let's say, for example, my father-in-law calls me up and he's like, okay, I want to invest in Bitcoin today. It's trading at $43,000. What do I say to him? Well, listen, the first thing I say to you is you have to understand it for yourself. Because if you don't understand it for yourself, there's no way you're going to be able to hold through the trade. A good place to start, the best place to start, and there's so many great resources, but do start on this channel's Bitcoin playlist and watch all of those videos. Then you will have an understanding of Bitcoin and the full-year cycle. I would gather better than anyone you walk into a room with outside of a Bitcoin conference. Now, there's other great places. The Investors Podcast, Preston Fish, right? Around November, he started a Wednesday podcast talking about Bitcoin. Watch that first podcast and then watch the rest. What else? Where else could you go? There's so many. Michael Seiler on MicroStrategy has resources of things and resources that helped him understand Bitcoin. Watch those things. Understand it. But Bitcoin trading at $43,000, for me, I would market buy it. In bull market phase, market buy, bear market accumulate. I would market buy here and be prepared for a 30% plus drawdown at all times. Where does that take us right now? A 30% drawdown right now takes us back towards 31,000. Right? Could we have a 38% drawdown back into 28,000? It's possible. Be mentally prepared. That way when it happens, you're ready. And that, my friends, That, my friends, is what we're going to do it. Lemmy, I missed it. Ooh, I don't know what all. Oh, that looks like spam. We don't spam in here. So whether that was meant or you're just excited, we just don't spam in here. All right? Very important we keep this community what it is, and it is very, very, very special. Thank you for laughing. Thank you for not taking everything so serious, right? Meme, right? Thank you. So there we go. We covered that. We covered Gene. It was beautiful. We're gonna cut it short today. We're gonna cut it short, and that means breakfast with the family, and that's exciting too. I honestly thought. Listen, I'm flexible, and this is very important. I honestly thought this morning I was going to do a lot of work in FX. I thought I was going to go through every single pair with you. I'm not going to do that till tomorrow. That was my intent. That's what I wanted to do. There's not much happening right now. I don't want to do it. I want to. I'm going to do it tomorrow. All right, everyone. Thank you for this beautiful session. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for helping me be a better person. Thank you for helping me learn and grow. Thank you for your patience, for I am human. So I thank you. I thank you for each and every comment. I read them all. I try to read them all, as many as I can. They're all very special to me, as you all are. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful. And it's a beautiful day. I'll talk to you all later. Have a beautiful one.